the only pain that's being felt by opponents of the New York Knicks, we need to talk about Linsanity. Jeremy Lin has come into the NBA. He has scored more points in his first 5 games than any player in the history of the league. That includes Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal and many others who have burst upon the scene. He played here at Harvard in New England, so we know a lot about him, but he was undrafted, cut by 2 teams, and now he is the talk of the nation. I mean, he's trending on Twitter. Last night, oh, by the way, what have you done for me lately? He had the ball with 15 seconds left. He looked like a veteran point, looked like Jason Kidd, told everybody, back down, get away from me. Took a shot with 0.5 seconds left and won the latest game for the Knicks, the 6th in a row, with 5th as him as a starting point guard. I mean, what a great, great story, isn't this?
Oh, it's an incredible story. You know, he's been on my radar, you know, how closely I follow the Mavericks. And he was on the Mavericks Summer League team, last Summer League they actually had. And they really wanted to make a roster spot for him. They offered him a 1-year deal, but Golden State stepped in, offered him a 2-year deal, and he ended up in Golden State, got cut there. Houston cut him and got a chance with New York, and they were actually on the verge of either trading or cutting him themselves. And, you know, he just so happened to get put in pretty much 2 days before the deadline for when contracts get guaranteed, blew up, and really hadn't looked back since. It's been an incredible story.
Staying with the Knicks, though, Carmello Anthony and his situation. Physically, how do you think he's doing? How's that going to hold up?
You know, his strained groin is improving. I also think they're using this as a time to gain some extra rest and recuperation for that wrist and the thumb injuries that he had earlier and an ankle injury. He's been pretty banged up so far this year.
If you have Carmello Anthony, are you thinking about trading him, Jeff? Because you and Bernie and others from RotoWire we've talked to, whether it's baseball or football, there comes a time when you've drafted a guy high that you have to fish or cut bait. And Carmello, when you start adding up the package, I don't know how much Lin factors in, but that he's been banged up, that it might be that type of year for him. Are you thinking about trading him right now?
I'm going to gauge some interest in him, but his stock is low right now. There's so many question marks and so many red flags around him. I just don't think you're going to be able to get equal value for him. The thing you got to remember about Carmello is he was a top-notch fantasy producer down the stretch last year. He was second really only to Kevin Durant in the last couple weeks of the season. His numbers were eerily close to what Durant was doing, and Durant was by far the number 1 player down the stretch. And so I really think Melo's value is low right now in a lot of people's eyes, and he's got the potential to be so great. I wouldn't really trade him. I would try to stay the course because I don't think you're going to get fair value in return.